what's going on? I got a great question from a Mr. Cabbage 2 about pitching and the slide step. And his question is, from a pitcher's perspective, when I have runners on, I try the slide step, but it takes speed off a lot of my pitches, and I get hit all over. But when I bring my leg up normal, these runners take off on me. Which should I do, or is there some other way to do this? Well, that's a great question. And there's 3 things that you need to know when you're working with a slide step when you've got runners on base. The first thing is that you want to be a 1.3 or less to home plate. Now I'm talking about on the big field. When your initial movement from the second that you start to go home to the time the catcher catches the ball, you should be 1.3 seconds or less. Now, with that being said, you also don't want to be too fast to the plate. If you're under 1 second or close to 1 second, that's also not so good because you're sacrificing some of the effectiveness of your pitch. 1-1, 1-2 is good. Anywhere between 1-2 and 1-3, you're in a pretty good spot, okay? But anything closer to that second or below, way too fast, and you're gonna start leaving balls up, okay? The second thing that you want to think about when doing a slide step with runners on base is know your runner. You know, if this guy's not a threat, go ahead and get a little bit more of a load. Now, if he's got some wheels, you're going to have to be a little bit quicker, right? Now, with that being said, it brings us to point number 3, and that's you still have to get a load. Even if this guy is a threat on the base and he's super fast, you've still got to get a good load because you don't want to sacrifice the effectiveness of your pitch, but you still want to be under that 1.3 seconds. So, with that being said, normally I pitched from the stretch always. So my normal leg kick when there was nobody on base, or maybe a guy who wasn't a threat, was a little bit higher, and it looked like this. I would lift the leg up, break the hips, load the hips, and then leave with my butt going home. Now, if I had a guy on who was a threat, who was this pretty fast guy, I would do the same thing. I'd still load my hips. I wouldn't do a slide step, and I think the word slide step is a bad word to describe it because when we think slide step, I see a lot of guys doing this. Just stepping straight out and getting no kind of load. So instead, what I want you to try to do is, instead of getting that big load like you would normally, or like I did normally, you want to modify it. So you're just going to be a little bit smaller with it, but you're still loading the hips and being fast to home. So I still loaded my hips. I still led with my butt. I still had that energy on the inside part of my back foot and was able to get a good pitch with good movement and good speed, and I was still able to be under a 1.3 when I had a guy who was a threat on the base path. So, take out the slide step and get a little bit of modified load when you're pitching to home, okay? I hope that helps, guys. I hope I touched everything there that I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, let me know. That was a great one. Let's talk some more pitching.
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and then join the free newsletter at yougoprobaseball.com.